Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday morning trading room. Hold on one second here while I get you my monitor. Market just opened up and is falling like a rock. I think there was a little bit of a run up in the overnight. We'll take a look here in a moment. Let's take a look at the Eagle. Get the bird's eye view, so to speak. So around the middle of the London session, we saw this run up back to 43.50, which was the high of, I guess, a couple of days ago, wasn't it? Anyways, the market relatively quiet toward the close, and then through the Asian and the European session, big rally, and we're seeing a reversal. It started here about a half hour before the open, and it's going to be tough to tell whether we're looking at a trend change at the moment or simply a little bit of a pullback. I'm going to shoot a trend line across those highs right there. I think that looks pretty good to me. And we'll see how well they do at honoring that trend line. Here on the Raptor, you can see we had a really nice cloud crossover signal for those of you who are early risers. We got a nice signal there, good fade, and then the market came back into the hard edge, actually gave us a double pullback signal. Bounced several times, so you had several opportunities to get into that trade. But after that really quick spiral down, they're trying to retrace. So we're going to sit back here for a moment. I'm going to let the dust settle a little bit. Looks like gold may have sparked that major decline. Here's gold on the Hawk. And this is gold just prior to the North American Open. Had a green bar sell, a first micro macro cross, a couple opportunities here. Actually, this was gold's opening signal right here. Then it drifted into a green bar sell, and boom, down she goes. Now we're drifting a little bit sideways. Technically, this is a 3-arrow consolidation on gold. The problem, of course, where do you cover this thing? Right? Ideally, you want to cover back here, perhaps to the crest and the macro line, at the very least up to here, both of which are going to be out of reach for me. Yeah. Alternatively, what I could do is, I suppose I could enter below the low and try to cover back here to the macro line. Ooh, it's kind of risky. Yes, it's a 3-arrow consolidation, which on crude oil, we look for 3-arrow consolidations instead of 4, but it's not giving me a warm, fuzzy feeling. Unfortunately, with gold, I can't reduce my risk anymore, so if I were to take that trade, that's pretty much what it's going to look like. But I think I'm going to hold off for the moment. It's still early. Don't have to run after every signal. What a conflict, though, here in the NASDAQ. So obviously this trend line has been broken. Shooting a trend line across these highs now. And here we come with a green bar sell signal. This one I might give a go. We'll see how it shapes up. Eagle is one of those few tools that I will trust the early signals that we get with the Eagle. So we're working on a green bar sell. We're currently against the ATR. If you wanted to be more aggressive, you could certainly take it here, perhaps cover up there. I'm going to take that signal right there, though. Son of a... Stop it. All right, just going to hit the short button. And I'm going to get my stop in play. So I got slipped a couple of ticks here. I'm going to put my, get rid of that. Put my stop just above where that trend line was. I should have had the order ready and waiting. Okay, so now the only challenge to this trend is going to be, or to this trade, is whether this becomes the retest of the lows. We've got this market kind of sandwiched now between this type of range. And that's kind of the bracket that we're looking at. In fact, I might put my stop just above the top end there. Oh, we're having quite the storm here this morning, so if I all of a sudden disappear offline, it's because I've lost power. The rain's coming down sideways with high winds, so it could knock a tree down, take out the power line or something. All right, come on, you sellers. Oh, knock it off. Here's crude oil, what we were looking at just a moment ago with that 4-arrow consolidation or 3-arrow consolidation for crude, continuing to go sideways. Now, if you're looking at these consolidation patterns, after about 4 arrows, it's no longer a consolidation pattern. Yes, it may very well work out, but you should trade it as a range, where you bracket the high and the low and just use your OCO order, but don't consider it a consolidation pattern or a 4-arrow consolidation pattern anymore. Occasionally the market's just going to drift and you're going to get signal after signal after signal. Well, after the third or fourth signal, our pattern is no longer valid, right? A 6-arrow consolidation pattern is not stronger or twice as strong as a 3-arrow consolidation pattern. A 3-arrow consolidation, we usually have a pretty good idea which way the market's going to go. All right, so things looking a little dicey for us right now as they took out this little itty-bitty high right here. This is going to be the last chance that the sellers have to pull this market together, and it looks like they're going to fail. So I'm going to get ready with my bar high low. And I'm going to consider now rolling my stops with this trade as it continues lower. Again, the logic is if they fail at this point, well then my trade trade's probably done anyhow. Last chance. Okay, we're getting a little traction now. And it should be fairly obvious what the hang-up is here. So what I'm hoping is that this is going to end up looking like a great big bear flag, but we do need to take out this low right here. Without the market breaching this support area, I'm afraid it's going to probably continue higher, and this will in fact have become a test of the extreme. Poop. All right, well, I got tagged, but at least I was able to reduce my stop somewhat. Shoot, did I get tagged too early again? Well, here they come one more time. What's going on with the other tools? The Raptor's conflicted. The Hawk is looking kind of bearish. The Falcon looking a little bullish. We're getting that trend change signal here on the Falcon, and a soft edge buy here on the Raptor. So we still have the same trend line that we're looking at. Doggone it. All right, well, here's a soft edge buy. They fail, or they continue to hold this trend line. If you were inclined, you could see if they tried to reach the upper end of this trading range. But I tell you, just being stuck in this sideways box is no fun. All right, so here they come on the Eagle again. And we're right back to the trend line, right back where we were. And I'm going to look at taking this now on a break of that trend line. And you can see the buyers coming into here. You could even enter below the low of this bar. It looks like this low of this bar is going to print 43.1075. So you could enter like 43.10 half. And this is going to be my last chance to try to short this market. The buyers are doing their best to get the market higher, but this resistance here around the 43.20, 43.23 range, giving them a little bit of grief. Gold also moving sideways. Crude looking as though it may have found some serious support. Here's crude on the Eagle. You see these really, really big fat bars here? Well, if we get a bar turning higher, then the sellers are losing their grip. Right now, the sellers have control of this market, but where are we here? Around 37.50. It's going to be a pretty sticky price point, it looks like, for crude oil right now. If it lets go, then we can expect prices to head lower. So let's see what they do now. Coming back with a possible buy signal. Let's see if we're getting something on the Raptor. We are too. And, oh shoot, the Falcon is still just waffling. Look at the Hawk. It's all yellow bars. So we've got a serious sideways drift going on. Okay, here comes the Raptor. They're about to challenge the bottom end of this trading range also. This is more or less the same signal that was printing on the Eagle. There's the Geiger counter. There's the sell signal. There's the short. All right, so they failed to go higher. I'm going to try to short it. See if we can't get a little bit of traction here to the downside now. Okay, this is the most recent swing low here around the 43.09, 43.10 area. We're working a cloud crossover as well on the Raptor, so we'll see whether or not we can get some support out of that cloud. If we do, we could be in good shape. If we don't, we're going to get smacked here in a big way. Yeah, everybody's asking me, why are you not in the June contract? There's still plenty of volume in March. In fact, we could trade March all of next week if we, or wait a minute, I know the rollover is, Ninja always prompts you for the rollover, I know that. Ah, shoot. Okay, so they're definitely going sideways. So the rollover for March is the 14th. That's Monday. I don't know why Ninja says it's the 10th. All right, so they didn't want to go lower. I will try it higher, and then that's going to be it until we get a decent breakout from this trading range. Wow, they're just brutal here today. So it looks like they hit this swing low right on the number and made a quick move higher. Yeah, they are trying that now. Okay, so here comes that cloud crossover. Come on, give me that buy signal. Look, did you see the Geiger counter? Did you see how the sellers were just chewing through the sell orders as they hit the high? As you might well expect. See, after this, if this trade does not work out, and I could just go in with a onesie kind of to test the waters, I'm going to anticipate a pullback here. Oh, look at all these buy dots and no signal. All right, so there's the pullback, or the attempt at a pullback, yet another buy dot. I'm not sure I've ever seen that many buy dots. 5 buy dots and no signal. Tony says, new securities rule, no more sideways markets. Yes, everybody is telling me about the contract rollover. I'm aware of the contract rollover. It's not until Monday. If you're still trading March, that's fine. There's loads of volume in March still. I'll roll over tomorrow for you guys, all right? So there we go. We just got the buy signal. And we did tap it. So I better get my stop in here. Oh, pretty big stop, but I will adjust it very shortly. Yeah, a lot of people, some contracts you can roll early. And I'm going to do a little market analyzer here for you guys. So this is something that Ray Burke showed me, and it's kind of a cool little thing. You go here to your control center and you pull up your market analyzer, and you're going to end up with a little window like this. And now what you can do is you can add instruments to your list. Oh, but before that, I need to add the June contract to my tools. 1 second. All right, so now that I have the June contract here, I can add, before that, let's adjust the columns. So I don't need the ask price, I don't need the bid price, I don't need the last price. What I want is I want to compare volume. And I think it's this one right here. It's been a little while since I did this, so bear with me. I do believe it's the daily volume that I'm interested in. So now what I can do is I can go to my instruments and I can add my March NQ and my June NQ. And you can see that March is still the more liquid market. Not that, 14,000, nearly 14,000 contracts is not liquid enough. That's just fine. But even though everybody's saying, or that Ninja is prompting you for a rollover, the March contract will be the higher volume going into the weekend. So for today and tomorrow, the market will be more liquid in the March contract. That's what I'm trying to say. So handy little tool there. Okay, so let's get our trade to break even now. We've hit our first profit objective, and we're plugging along. Suncom is asking, is there any indicator to predict the momentum of the trend? The Geiger counter is probably your best bet for that. The Geiger counter actually was developed because a DTS owner said, hey, Adam, how can I tell when it's time to get out of my trade? If I'm in a trade, how can I gauge if the market is starting to get start building momentum against me? Well, that's where the Geiger counter came in. And with the Geiger counter, see, now that we're long, I'm paying attention here to the short side. I don't want to see this dial pull over and hold and hold and hold to the short side, because that tells me that the sellers are getting a lot more aggressive and they're likely to move the market lower. And what I want to do is I want to balance that with my open profit as well, right? I've got a runner in. I'm going to try to capitalize on that runner the best that I can. And so long as the Geiger counter keeps holding to the bullish side, I'm okay. But you see now how it's starting to favor the bearish side? We're going to see a little bit short-term move here. So maybe I'm going to go to something more aggressive like my parabolics and let my parabolics manage my trade now. Or I may choose just to run my stop below the low. Just say, this is all you're going to get. You're going to get this one bar. If you reverse on me, well, then I'm going to be out. And then, David also says, and David brings up a good point, the DTS, oh, you're going to annoy me here, popping up all the time. The DTS system is very robust. And by that, I mean, you can run other indicators along with it. I'm not going to fiddle around with this chart right here because we've got the active trade, but let's take a look here, say at the Falcon. David says he runs ADX along with his. He runs a short-term ADX. He says he's watching the bands as well, so he's probably using the, he's probably using the DMI. He's probably using this one right here. Sorry. So, you know, the DMI and the ADX, also good for gauging momentum. As the bands get a little bit wider, the momentum tends to be increasing. As this green line heads higher, the momentum, again, tends to be increasing. You see where it was kind of stagnant here, the momentum was kind of soft, and the lines were braided. One, flip-flopping all the time. Another good momentum indicator is, another good momentum indicator is momentum. Imagine that. And the premise of momentum is that when you're above the zero line and it's rising, momentum is also rising. And as it falls, momentum is decreasing. And you can kind of see that here. Prices were going up, momentum was up. Prices drifted a little bit sideways, went into the trend line, we generated a signal. Momentum was declining a little bit. What some people like to do with their momentum indicator or oscillating indicators like this is they'll draw trend lines across the peaks and look at breakouts as possible buy or sell areas. So you can see the breakout more or less coincided with the signal that we produced here on the Falcon. And here where the market was waffling, above and below, you got this trading range also on your momentum indicator. And it wasn't until it broke out of there that we actually saw some upward momentum. With the oscillating type indicators, a lot of traders pay attention to the steepness of the line as well. Right? So there's a couple of indicators that gauge momentum. Back here now to our Raptor trade. The parabolic's holding us in just barely as the market's starting to drift a little sideways. That's nice to see. The buyer's starting to chew through those buy orders. Let's see, providing the sellers can't counter that, we should see the market make one more little blip higher here. There's, I suppose, no shortage of indicators. The problem is not so much finding an indicator to give you the information you want, rather it's the information overload. Well, they made one more poke higher, and now they're coming back. I have a feeling we're going to get tagged here. Oh well, it was a good run up. We did take advantage of a nice little move there. I was holding my breath, hoping that we'd get one more chance, but it looks as though we're seeing prices reverse on us a little bit there. So it does seem as though it is a little bit more of a buyer's market. At the moment. All right, a little bit of a red bar buy going on there. Working a first micro macro cross lower now. This is a little odd. It is a high probability signal, right? I would take it below the low. I wouldn't necessarily take it on the hash mark. The problem with this trade is where to cover it because we're in an uptrend. It's the type of trade that you're going to have to cover above the high, and we are, after all, in an uptrend at the moment. If it goes into a macro pullback or a green bar sell, I'll definitely tighten my entry. Because after that, we'll have had our test of the extreme, right? You can see the volume associated with the Raptor here. A lot of volume coming in off of the hard edge. Okay, so we're into yellow bars. We can nix the order. Too bad that yellow bar just spoiled that macro pullback signal, but we'll see. It may have kept us out of a potentially bad trade. All right, so here we're getting a signal now on the Falcon. And we could look at taking a second push on that one. Shoot. Just bolted right past me. I should have had that. Should have had that parked, ready. All right, well that was too bad that the market made that quick little move, didn't give us a chance to get in there before it bolted past me. I'm waiting now for the cloud crossover, and I'm going to end up waiting too late. Shoot. Sorry, folks. I should have hopped in on that macro pullback signal. We had the trend change signal here also. Well, this was the one we were looking at. We had the trend line touch follow up on it. We can expect the market here to tail off. Probably get back down here to the 43.10 area, but I'm starting to run out of room on the profit side. So I may just have to figure that I missed that one. Gold is trying to reverse on itself now. Gold actually waffling a little bit here. This is gold now on the hawk. And it was interesting to see gold head higher while the NASDAQ was heading higher. Normally, these two markets have a little bit of an inverse relationship, but not today. And now gold starting to head a little bit lower as the NASDAQ also tailing off. So a real mixed bag. You would expect with the NQ falling that crude oil prices would also be heading lower, but they too are doing the opposite. They're heading higher. So while there's normally a loose relationship between some of these markets, it is not carved in stone. There is some flexibility to all these rules. And now we're back into yellow bars. We're getting an opportunity to retest the lows. I think I'm just going to let this one slide. The hawk is starting to, pardon me, the falcon taking a bounce here off of the support line or the resistance line, starting to look a little bit more bullish. I'm just going to resign myself to the fact that I missed out on that particular little move. We might get another chance if the market continues lower, but right now, I'm just going to go get myself a coffee. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. What did I miss? Not too much. See, sometimes you have to, or I have to, physically leave the room in order to keep from doing something foolish and not end up chasing the markets around. Sometimes, the markets are just going to give you a funny look, and try as you will to try to figure it out. Sometimes the best thing to do is just sit on your hands and wait for a high quality signal. Oh, way to go. Tony says he was lucky he caught that hawk macro pullback with 3 contracts. Well done. Craig is asking, what tick size would you use for crude oil and the 30-year bond for the hawk? Well, crude oil, I use the default tick size. So that would be 6 ticks on the hawk, 8 ticks on the falcon and raptor, and 12 ticks on the eagle. The 30-year bond is a really odd instrument as far as the brick sizes go, and you really have to dial it down. On the hawk, I have a 2-tick brick and 4 ticks on everything else. And that's because the 30-year bonds, for those of you who don't know, trade at $31.25 per tick. So my hat's off to you, Craig, for tackling that monster. All right, we're still kind of going sideways here. It looks like we've seen a little bit of support around the 43.14 area. Just glancing here at the eagle, it does look like a little bit of a retest of the highs. I still wouldn't be surprised to see them slide. Where's the next stop? 43.05. That's a bit of a ways down. But the market definitely waffling still. 43.05, it is within the realm of possibility, no question. I think we saw the market find some support around there this morning. And sure enough, it did. Right there, right on the mark. Shortly out of the open, it tagged 43.05. You can run higher ticks, higher brick size on the 30-year bond if you like, Craig, but what you're going to notice is it's going to look something like this, where you have your hawk and you're going to have like your session break lines are going to look like this, right? So this is supposed to be your scalping tool, and yet, you might be generating 1 signal a day. It's fine if you want to position trade the market. For those of you who have never considered this, this is an option, especially with some of the lower margin markets like the grain markets, some of the currencies. If you're looking at your chart and it's all broken up like this, you'll see the signals are still valid, right? The macro pullback signal, no problem there. Here we're working a first micro-macro cross. We had a first micro-macro cross back here. So the signals are still valid, but it would mean holding for several days, at least 1 extra day, maybe 2. So you would structure your days differently or your trades differently, but the signals themselves are still perfectly fine. I forget what the overnight margin on the 30-year bond is, but I bet it's substantial. All right, this market winding itself up a little bit inside this trading range that we're looking at. So I'll just show you here on the Raptor. It doesn't matter. It's going to look the same on all our charts. That's kind of the range that we're playing with. And you can see we're right smack dab in the middle of that range here at the moment. Are they going to try to break outside of this range now? We are making a lower swing high. Let's see if they give me one more chance. What's going on here with our other tools? We do have a chance at a second push here on the Eagle. Tough sell though, folks. We're at the bottom end of the trading range, right? If this market is going to waffle sideways, the buyers are going to dig in here. This isn't the strongest looking of signals. See the profit target down here at 43.05. That would take us back to that primary resistance line that we saw on our support and resistance suite. Yeah, there we go. I think I would much rather see them rally out of this and come back with a buy signal. There we go. So we can void that signal. See if they can get up near these highs, somewhere around here. Okay, so the Raptor being a little bit more aggressive, coming in with a buy signal right now. We don't have, oh shoot. I would have been more comfortable buying above this swing high here. But I will, shoot. No, there they go. They're going to take out the bottom. I think we're in a type of situation where we're just going to be looking at scalping opportunities. I think the move of the day might be done, or certainly the move of the morning. We had a decent move higher. We had a decent move lower. These moves look more impressive on the Hawk and the Falcon, of course, and the Raptor. And now we're just kind of going sideways. Gold is falling off a little bit. Here's gold now on the eagle. Oops, let's try that again. We got a green bar sell with a trend change. It looks as though this little double top here may have qualified to be a retest of the highs. I'm too late on the entry now. I would have rather have sold the top end of this trading range, so sold near here, than trying to sell it down here. Now that we've waited this long, we may as well wait for the breakout and the retest before looking for another selling opportunity. And now you can see why. The sellers making their way lower. No real clean signal, I'm afraid. Oops. That's looking elsewhere. Technically, this was a first micro-macro cross signal. And you can see it had some decent follow through to it. Probably would have ended up risking it here, at least to the macro line, when it's set up like so. How are we doing relative to the lows of the morning? Oh, we're getting close. So they're going to actually try to make a run here to 43. Here comes 43.05. That's our primary resistance line. And if they breach 43.05, 42.95 looks to be the next stop. Wow, monster move lower here on the part of the sellers. Crude oil sideways, gold sideways, the NQ, the only one making some noise here. And unfortunately, I was a little bit slow on getting that signal in, but there were other opportunities here for you. Nice little cloud crossover there on the Raptor. Oh yeah, look at right back to the lows of the morning, 42.95. Next stop, that's going to be our median line. We've now moved 2 full zones, so we can probably anticipate some sort of reaction here. And what I mean by 2 full zones is here on the support and resistance suite. This is zone 1, this is zone 2. Very often you'll see the market move 2 zones and then give you some sort of reaction, especially if it breaks above or below the primary support or resistance lines. So here's zone 1, here's zone 2. Got a little higher, didn't quite get to zone 3, got about halfway in there. And then we saw that reaction and the market start to turn over. Sideways drift, breaks out, zone 1, zone 2. So if you're using your support and resistance suite as profit objectives, and you can handle the suspense, because the market isn't always going to make a nice clean move to the support line as it did here. And then it makes for a really good profit target. All right, Tony, we'll see you next week. I think it's, or next week, it's not Friday. See you tomorrow. Sorry, see you tomorrow. Yeah, it's not a holiday this week. You had me going there, Tony. All right, so just waiting on a decent signal. The market has come down a long ways. It's always tough to jump in at this point. I would much rather see a little bit of a reaction or a little bit of a pullback. Not always easy to do. Where are we after this? 42.85 will be the primary support. And we're almost certain to see some sort of reaction there if we continue to drift. But, oh, look at that. They are too. Wow. All right. My fault for not getting in on that trade earlier, but it happens. You should never beat yourself up too badly for missing a move like this. You can see it happens. We all miss them. So our buyer's market has become a full-on bear market now. It'll be interesting to see what the talking heads give for an excuse for this major decline. A lot of volume coming in here on these lows, which we would have anticipated. Now everybody is waiting for a chance to get back into this market. And I do mean everybody. Everybody's going to be stacked up just looking for a chance to short. The problem, of course, is not getting in. And we got lots of places we can get in. We can get in right here off of the Falcon signal. Problem is, where do we cover the trade? There's no structure here. Cover it up there, it's out of reach. Cover it above the median line, it's probably too close. Can I cover it there? Oh, sorry, that's my wrong tool. No, see, I can't. And this is the problem everybody's going to be having. It's where in the world do you cover this trade? So they'll be looking for a little bit of structure. The market is likely to fake us out, actually. It's either, and by that I mean the very first signal to sell is likely to go higher. So we may see the market retrace a little bit here. Oops. And then come back with a sell signal, maybe right about here. And then now that we have some structure, everybody's going to hop on board there and they're going to short here and cover above here. But then the market's very likely to reverse high enough to take out those orders, maybe drift a little bit more, and then come back and resume the downtrend. This is something that we have to be on the alert for. So there's a little bit of a pullback. Could be some profit taking going on here. And they may even flash us a buy signal, you know that? They may flash us a buy signal, try to get the buyers involved, thinking that, oh, there's going to be a retracement. You know, all the fib traders now are going nuts. They're pulling, trying to figure out where to pull their fib levels from. Saying, oh, hey, the market's going to retrace back here to 43.05. So they're just looking for, chomping at the bit for a chance to buy in. And then once the sellers allow them to buy in, they just may squash them like a bug. That's why I say too, if the market is paying off in one direction, I tend not to get very keen on the counter trend trades. If you are going to be trading counter trend, that's fine, but it's always a safer counter trend when you've perhaps broken the trend line. So if the market, oops, sorry, wrong tool. If the market eventually gets up here and breaks the trend line, then you can say, oh, all right, well, maybe the bias has shifted. Maybe now I can get bullish. But so long as the market is sitting below this trend line here, it is full on bear market. And you shouldn't be too quick to get bullish on it. All right, so it looks like we've got a few of the buyers now showing up, lending some support to the market. And like I said, we're likely to get a buy signal. Oh, there's even a first micro-macro cross. And who knows, the market may well retreat all the way to this trend line. I'm not ever upset about missing, or I try never to be too upset about missing a big move. I'll always miss big moves. I'll miss a big move at least once every couple of weeks. But what I'm concentrating on are trying to find the high probability signals. Mo says, Eric, I follow the Ichimoku cloud in conjunction with the Hawk. It seems to work out well. Yeah, like I said before, that's the nice thing about the DTS system is it's very robust. It will complement other indicators if that's something that you choose to add. You do not need them, of course, but my criteria always for adding stuff to your charts is, does it help you make a decision? That is the most important concept. Will it help you make a decision? I worked with a trader who loved Bollinger Bands. He had to have Bollinger Bands on his charts, and he was using DTS. I said, go ahead, throw Bollingers on there. And it made him happy because he could use his Bollinger Bands along with the Hawk signals. Now, for me, it's not a big deal. I don't see that this adds anything to the validity of a signal which I may be getting, right? I'm still going to take the first micro-macro cross signal. I suppose he liked it that it broke the Bollinger Band to the downside. They all have value. All those indicators in your indicator assortment, they all have value. But they can also become very confusing. Which again is why the main criteria is, will it help you make a decision? Oh, and while I was blabbing there, I didn't even notice that we have produced a soft edge buy signal here on the Raptor. This one's almost textbook too. So the market comes down, gives us a teeny tiny test of the extreme, and then comes back with a buy signal. This is a soft edge buy, and we would anticipate the market to retreat into the hard edge, which is exactly what it did there. So good opportunity for those of you who were paying more attention to your Raptor than what I was. All that selling, and now it's dried up. That's hard to believe. Well, we'll give them a few more minutes here, see if they can't sort themselves out. So the buyers are trying to entice more buying. We did that first micro macro cross. I didn't think it was going to get as high as it did. It did get up there, producing a macro pullback signal now. There's going to be a big fight now for the control of the market between the buyers and sellers. As the Falcon drifts back here now to the trend line, and we're going to be looking for the buyers to offer some support, probably here off of the median line. The Eagle producing a sell signal, and there we go. We have the sell signal on the Eagle. And again, I'm getting a little bit more aggressive on that. All right, so we got another signal here on the Raptor. I'm just going to punch in on that one because I'm a little bit late. Wanted to take it on the hash mark. And here too, we're going to cover above the swing high. We're just going to hold that up there a little bit. And see if we can't get a little short-term move out of this. Like I said, this area right now is a real big tug of war for the buyers and sellers. See how the Geiger counter was pulled there to the sell side? This is a real big tug of war. Whoever gains control here is likely to continue pushing the market for the short term. All right, so here come the buyers. And now the sellers really have to come through. See here on the histogram how sporadic and spiky the buying and selling was? Not that smooth progression that we normally see. This buyers and sellers just hopping in, trying to gauge which way the market is going. And this is a much more aggressive trade than waiting for perhaps a double pullback signal here on the Raptor, or perhaps for the market to retreat into the trend line here on the Eagle. I am taking a little bit of a risk here. I'm trying to hop on early. We're getting a comparable signal here on the Hawk. We're getting a red bar buy, a red bar buy failure. I'll wait for the first micro macro cross to come back on that one. And we're getting a sell signal here on the Falcon also, which we can take on a second push. So a few things syncing up. We're either going to get clobbered across the board, or everything should work out nicely. And let me just get on the other side of that resistance line. Oh, sorry, I'm not even short yet. All right, so the trend line changing again. I'm going to void that signal. And now we're getting a possible green bar sell. So the market conflicted. The nice thing about the green bar sell is that I can cover it above this swing high. So once again, really looking for the sellers to step up and regain control of the market. They did a great job pushing the market down. Where did they go? Are they waiting for the market to get back to that trend line? In which case things could get a little bit dicey. So here's the green bar sell signal now. I'm going to leave this one in as a scalp because I've already got the Raptor and the Eagle looking for larger profit objectives. We'll see if we can't get a scalp out of this one. Oh, come on. Come on. We're at break even. Come on, get that scalping. Oh, whew. Oh, that was hard work. Okay, so here we are now back at these lows. This is where the buyers dug in before. We need to see them take out that low. And then I think we could see the prices tail off a little bit. Working a first micro macro cross signal now. There's the signal. We could, oh, I'm too late. I was going to say we could hop into that one as well. Come on, let's take out those lows. There you go. Come on, you can do it. Come on. There we go. Come on. All right, so I'm going to get more aggressive with my stops here. I'm going to roll this one to break even. Oops. Because I'm a chicken. And with my Eagle trade, maybe I'm going to go with the parabolics. You know what? I'm going to take this one to break even too. The market is floundering a little bit. I don't feel much like getting stuck in a sideways range. If it continues lower from here, great. If it takes me out of break even, well, then that's okay too. Come on. All right, so we hit our target now on the Raptor. And I think I'm going to go with parabolics on the Raptor also. This is a big deal now as we get back down to this 42.85 area. Why? Well, the market had a huge decline. That's where the buyers put the brakes on the sellers. If we get below this 42.84.85 area, we've got a little bit of room to move. It's been a fun day trading though. The market's been very responsive, and I think we just hit our profit target on the Eagle. Yes, we did. Hooray for us. And we've got a runner in play now on the Raptor. And there they go. There go the sellers. It's a little bit of a battle now that we've breached 42.84. Oh yeah. Who's your daddy now? Look at that. There's a nice little tidy profit on that trade. And there come the buyers again. They're trying real hard to support this area that held the market before. See on the Geiger counter, did you see the wheel pull over there hard as they're trying desperately to hold this range of prices? If the sellers knock them out here, well then, my goodness, we got some room to move here. Next stop 42.75, after which 42.65. Both of which very feasible profit objectives. Parabolic's doing a fantastic job holding us in this trade. So I missed the first big run down, but a little bit of patience. We caught the second one. Off of a decent double pullback signal here in the Falcon. Oh, pardon me, Raptor. So here comes 42.75. And I may put a profit target at 42.65. I won't be greedy though. We'll go 42.67. Oop, I don't want to buy a limit of 2. I want to buy 1. There we go. 42.67 half has a nice ring to it. And if we get there, that'll be a tidy little $500 profit on the second contract. If we can massage the trade that low. Tony's going to be kicking himself that he left a little earlier. When you get these pronounced moves, though, you need to expect that the market's going to move sideways for a little bit. The chance of a full-on reversal is rare because the sellers showed exceptional strength. Remember how quickly this came down? Like there was no second chance to get in. It was just boom, 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 one bar after the next. For the buyers to muster a full-on buy and reverse the market to head higher is extremely unlikely at that point. What is more likely is that the buyers will be able to make the market move sideways. If they can't recover the trend, they may at least be able to make the market move sideways. So that's why I was looking for a chance to sell near the top end of the range. Once we saw where the buyers had come in, or pardon me, where the sellers had come in to stop the buyers, that was going to be the top end of our trading range. So I was looking to short there, knowing that chances are the buyers would not try to dig in again until they got near the bottom end of the trading range. How do I know these things? It's because it happens time and again. Okay, so, oh darn, we got tagged there on a little bit of a hiccup as the market made an early reaction to that 42.65 area. They put the brakes on around 42.70. That's okay. All right, well, it's been a good morning, very profitable morning trading today. And I think we're going to button up the shop now. I'm going to change all my charts over to the June contract so people will stop bugging me about that. All right, you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. All right. Have yourselves a great day. If you're looking to trade today, I think we're going to see a little bit of an uptick now. I think there's going to be some profit taking. We're not the only ones looking to exit this position with some profit. So expect a little bit of an uptick. Overall trend on the day is down, but we've seen some pretty monster moves already. So it's likely the market will just drift sideways. See you Friday morning. Bye for now.